Hello, everybody, and welcome to a special episode of the Bad MotoGP podcast. Because as you see, we have a guest that you may have never seen before. This is Riley Jordan, and he sent me a very, very interesting message, which I will read to you in a minute. And yeah, I'm visiting my mom right now, so I don't have my microphones with me because this came together a little bit spontaneous. We were planning this for a while now, but the exact date is a spontaneous one because we live like on the opposite side of the globe, so it's always a little bit tricky with the time difference. But yeah, if you have unfamiliarly bad audio quality, I'm sorry for this. It's just my MacBook microphone, so next time will be hopefully again in the normal setting. And yeah, on the 10th of September, Riley sent me a message, and I will just read it out. It says, I will put it in the caption below as well, so you can read it if you don't understand what I'm saying. He said, hello, I will keep this short and sweet. My nan recently died of cancer, and in her honor, I've bought tickets to Phillip Island for me and a terminally ill cancer patient expected to live no more than the end of the year. Her wish is to meet Remy, and I also wanted Remy to shave my head to raise money for charity. No obligation, but if you have any contact with Remy, please pass this on. So I read your message, and it was really beautiful because I had family members dying of cancer as well. So, basically everybody knows someone. It's a shitty disease, and I
100%.
I appreciate your effort there. So what I did, I took a screenshot of this, sent it to Remy, said, hey, I got this message today. I felt like you should read it, and then put your ad. And the rest, basically, I don't know exactly what happened. I just, spoiler alert, the plan came into fruition at Phillip Island, and we're here to discuss the whole story. So yeah, I would like to give you the platform right now to explain to me the story, which I
Yeah,
really saw like on Instagram photos, and
yeah,
to everybody else who hasn't seen those photos before.
yeah. I'll fill you in, like just like I'll fill the listeners in. I'll start from the very beginning, like how it all started. So my dad used to race professionally and all that, so that's how I got into bikes and riding all the time, and used to racing motocross and stuff, and then only recently, about 2 years ago, got into road bikes, and then started riding road bikes, and then got into MotoGP like real heavily. And that was me and my dad's thing. That's how we bonded, and we worked on bikes and watched bikes and rode bikes and just did everything with bikes. So that's how we bonded. And yeah, and then in August, my nan sadly passed away with cancer. And my mum's side of my family, everyone's died from cancer. There's not been a single person that hasn't died from cancer. And very young too. My nan was very old. She was 96, so she did very well. She didn't get it till she was 95, but everyone else, around 50, 60 died from cancer. So it's really affected our family, and that happened. And I was obviously pretty sad, and not very cheerful. And then and we had tickets for the GP. It was for my 18th birthday the year before, but it got cancelled with COVID. So we had them for this year. And so we'll go into that. And just we got the hospitality suite. We wanted to make it a big one, a special one, and for our first one together. And so we got some pretty expensive tickets, and it was definitely worth it. But yeah, so all leading up to it, and then like a month before Phillip Island, my dad and my stepmom got divorced. So I'm like, shoot, like we've got 3 tickets and only 2 of us are going. What are we going to do with them? So we sat there and we thought. And I remember like a while ago, I seen a guy on Reddit. He gave his ticket away because he couldn't go. And like he just chose someone from the comments. I thought, oh, that's really cool because, everyone on that subreddit is going to want to go. They're obviously in that subreddit for a reason. So I thought that's pretty cool. And I was like, yeah, I might do that. So I put it up on Reddit, I could even send you the Reddit post if you want. I can try and find it. And yeah, everyone went berserk. Everyone was loving it, and then this girl commented, and she's like, "Oh, you should do it, like give it to a Make a Wish." And I thought that is perfect. Like, how did we not think of that? Should definitely do that. And so I commented. I said, like, that is an awesome idea. We'll do it. Thank you. Anyway, and then she replied, and I can't remember the exact reply, but I'd have to find it. But she was like, oh, like, if you do give it to Make a Wish, like, I can't remember the exact words, but something like, oh, like, I'm, a part of Make a Wish, or I've got cancer, or something along those lines. I thought, oh shit, like, so I texted her straight away. I was like, like, sent her a DM and was asking her all these questions about it, and real in depth, and we got chatting for ages. And that night, and I was super excited. I was like, oh, like, this is perfect. Like, it's absolutely perfect. She loves bikes. She was going to start racing. She's been to all the world superbikes, but never to a GP. And yeah, she was like, I'm terminally ill with cancer. She got diagnosed at 36 years old, got diagnosed with terminal cancer. And yeah, she had 6 or 12 months left to live between there. And it was like, shit, it was a big wake up. And so yeah, just kept chatting to her for ages. And then, eventually I was talking to my dad, and we're like, let's do it. Like, this is perfect. It was like, with what happened with my nan to what she's going through, just everything. It was perfect. She lived in Melbourne, so like it was pretty easy. So I rang her, I FaceTimed her, and I said, do you want to come? Like, let's do it. And she was stoked. She's bawling her eyes out, and she was so excited and couldn't wait. And she had it was pretty hard to get accommodation because Phillip Island's literally on an island, so it's really small and super hard to stay on there. But she's like, I'm just in Melbourne, like, I'll just drive every day. So I was like, oh, perfect, like, this is sweet. And so yeah, she was so excited, and we just kept chatting. And then some time went by, and come to October, we were still talking everything. And me and Dad went riding at Eastern Creek in Sydney, and I had a pretty big crash. I was going 200 k's and came off. I went wide and came off and broke some ribs and amnesia and concussion, and did my back, and it was a pretty big one. Yeah. So I was like, and that was a week before Phillip Island. So I was like, I don't know if I'll be able to go. Like, I can't move. I was in hospital and on all these drugs, and yeah, couldn't move, couldn't do anything. And then literally, like, that week, I was like, I'm going to Phillip Island. Like, I don't care. Like, I have to go. So, and I recovered really quick. So just took all the drugs I could, did all the sleep I could get, and yeah, recovered pretty quick. And it wasn't the most pleasant. The flight was definitely painful, and the driving and all that was pretty painful. But we got there, and yeah, stayed the night, and then we were there the next day. And she had some problems with her cancer and stuff the night before, or the morning of. And some trouble, just a lot of troubles with all that. I'm not sure. I didn't go into detail. I said, that's fine. That's okay. So she couldn't make it. Well, she made it, and then had to turn around and go back. And it's like a 3-hour, 2-hour drive. So it's not a small drive at all. It's a big drive from where she was to Phillip Island. And anyway, second day came around, and I was talking to Remy this whole time too, and he was super nice. Like, texted me all the time. Like, it was really strange, actually. Like, he was just like onto it straight away. And so yeah, he was talking to me about it, and he said, yeah, we're like, let's do it. Like, this is good, and we'll do it. Like, come see me. And so anyway, next day came around, and she ended up making it, and we got there, and we were just hanging out, spending time. And got a text from Remy, and he said, look, where are you guys? I'll come see us. So anyway, we go down and we see Remy, and he come outside of his pits area and seen her, and she was ecstatic. She was absolutely loving it. And got a picture with her and signed some things with her, and it was really cool. And like, he was only there for 2 seconds, and then people just swarmed. And I said to him, I'm so sorry. I was like, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to do this to you. Like, you're going to be here for hours. He's like, no, it's all right. He was super nice about it. And anyway, it was only there like 2 seconds. It was real quick, but it's all I expected. That's all he had to do. She was ecstatic. I was super happy. So it was all good. We went back, and I was going to text him. I was going to be like, oh, thank you so much. Really appreciate it. The full spiel. And I just forgot. We're watching the bikes and stuff, and just forgot about it. And I got this text from Remy, and he's like, hey, come down to the pits, and we'll sort out some paddock passes, and we'll get you car parking, and we'll do all this for you. I was like, whoa, like, you didn't have to do this. Like, you've gone above and beyond. This is wild. Like, didn't expect it at all. Thought what you did was enough. But so she ended up having to go early because of the long drive and what was going on. So I went down and seen him, and he came upstairs and was talking to me for ages, and we're talking about you, Leo, how you guys met, and talking about, like, the racing, and just we're talking for quite a while, which again I didn't expect at all. He was super nice, and we're there with his girlfriend Clara, and they're both super nice, and got me to sign some forms for these paddock passes and the car parking. And so yeah, we were just talking for a while. It was super good, super nice. And but we couldn't sign the second one for the paddock pass because she wasn't there. She had to sign it. So he said, come see me in the morning when you get here, and we'll meet up again, and she can sign it, and all good. So I thought, sweet. And so I watched the qualifying and everything, and came back the next day. And this whole time, over the whole weekend, while he's super busy, riding and stuff, he's sitting there texting me, saying, do this, when does this suit? It's like, I was like, what are you doing? Like, you're about to go hit 350 k's an hour, like, focus. But no, he was super nice. And so the next day came, and I said, yep, she's here. We'll sort it out. And what it's like now. They have the riders doing about 20 laps before the race even begins for the fans. And so they were doing the parade, and we're waiting there for ages for him because he told us to meet him outside his pit. And we're waiting there for a while. And I thought, oh shit, like, I was going to quickly go to the toilet. I'll come back. And she was waiting there. And while I'm gone, he texts me. He's like, all right, sorry about the wait. I'm here. I said, oh, she's just waiting out the front. Like, you'll spot her. And anyway, so I'm sitting there, and I come back, like, as I'm walking out, I get these photos from her, and the ones I sent you, and she's sitting on Remy's bike. I'm like, no way. And so yeah, I couldn't believe it. Like, he took her in, and she was telling me, she was like, yeah, I'm friends with the manager now, and like, so she was talking to the manager and talking to Remy and all his team and Clara. And so I thought he was just going to go to fill out the paperwork, and that was it. But no, he brought her into the box and was showing her around and getting her on the bike and took some photos. And this was all before his race. So, like, just, it was nuts. Yeah, I couldn't believe it. So unfortunately, I didn't get to be there. He was asking where I was, but yeah, unfortunately I wasn't there, which I'm gutted about. Absolutely gutted. I was pretty pissed, but no, I wasn't actually pissed, but I was happy for her. And yeah, so it was really good and really nice, extremely nice of him. And yeah, so he's just gone above and beyond whatever I could have asked for. He did. And he was super, yeah, texted me all day, every day. He was so nice.
Yeah, I mean, I have only positive experiences with him too.
Yeah.
It kind of is, I mean, he did more for her than he did for me, because I guess that's kind of what you have.
Yeah.
you know, and but he was always so keen on making it work for the other person. I mean, if it's whatever. There were last year before his Moto2 race, he said, "Hey, we can meet before the warm-up session." And there were people around him then asking for a photo, and I was like, "Oh gosh, why are you doing this? I wouldn't." It's you have your race in a couple of minutes. I mean, it was a couple of hours, but no.
Yeah.
Same thing again this year in Austria, where he came before the MotoGP race. A couple of more people asked him for a photo, and he was kind of pissed because the whole KTM thing went down like hours earlier or the evening before, I don't know. And he still tried to do everything he could. He bought me some merch because you can only buy the Remy merch in Australia. So I
Oh,
texted.
is that true?
Yeah, I mean at the time at least, but I saw a couple of merchandise shop at the track, so it was kind of unnecessary in the end, but cool because I texted him. I'm like, hey, I would like to get some of your merch. I think it would be cool, but I can't order it, or I can order it, but I have to pay like $35 in shipping fee, which sorry, I'm not paying this.
You're not worth that much, Remy.
Excuse me, I didn't understand.
I said, you're not worth that much, Remy.
No, I mean, I want to do it to Remy, but not to some packaging company.
Yeah, I know, I'm just joking.
No, like, hey, this is the situation. I would like to give you some money in it, because I don't expect for him to gift it to me. And no, I don't want anything. I have it laying at home. So yeah. And you could actually see me on the broadcast wearing this. So
yeah, I was about to say I've seen the photo
nice.
of you there. I thought it was pretty funny.
Yeah, but it's nice to hear that he's not only this nice to me, because I like to say, I mean, he's a better person and he's a rider and he's a world champion,
Yeah.
Well, it's so amazing that he even did this, because I can imagine that all the stress you have during a GP is like 10 on your home GP. I mean, Austria, there were a couple of people asking him for photos, and it wasn't much, but I can imagine how much it must be in Australia. So
yeah. But I forgot to mention too, when he came up and see me when she had gone and I was filling out paperwork. So I was like, because I had hair exactly like yours, and I was gonna do like a fundraiser for cancer. I was like, oh, like you don't have to, but do you want to shave my head? He's like, yeah, I'm down. And it didn't end up happening in the end because I didn't get to see him, but probably would have taken too long as well. But still, like he was like, yeah, like let's do it, like before the race. So come see me tomorrow. But it didn't end up happening. But like yeah, he was super keen on it. He's like, yeah, let's shave your head. But yeah.
So going back a couple of steps, after you texted me, I texted Remy and he texted you. How this whole conversation went down?
I can't remember exactly, but he was like, hey, I heard what happened. I'm so sorry. Let's make it happen. I said, thank you so much, for even replying, blah, blah, blah. And then he's just like, text me, a week before the island. So there wasn't much conversation. So I kind of just texted him, waited, and, we weren't going to have a full conversation. So just waited a week before the island. I texted him. He's like, yep, still going to make it happen. And then from that point on, it was kind of just like, like let's meet at this time, or let's meet there, or, just stuff like that. But then we had like a conversation while we're there. But yeah, like it was still no super conversation, but it was still like he was still chatting and talking to me. So again, more than I asked. So
yeah, I got to be honest, I was a little bit afraid that he forgets it, because not because I don't trust him, but because of all the surroundings,
Yeah.
So I was really happy when I saw it, that it actually came to fruition.
Yeah.
And can you explain a little bit or tell me about the fundraising you did then?
Well, so I organized the fundraising.
I mean,
and
it's something for charity, right?
Yeah, so I was going to shave my head for charity, and I had it all organized. And then as I got closer, I'm like, well, I'm not sure if it's actually going to happen. There's like, because on the fundraising, it's like, what day are you going to do it? What time are you going to do it? Like, what equipment do you need? And it was pretty in detail. I was like, well, this could happen on Friday, Saturday, or Sunday. It might not happen at all. Like he could be super busy. I don't really expect him to. There's a lot of things that had to go into place for it to actually happen. So I ended up saying, look, I won't do the fundraising. I will still donate myself, but I won't make it a big, fundraising thing. And then ended up just didn't shave my head there because, stuff happened and didn't get there and, ran out of time or whatnot. But still shaved my head here in America. And I'll be raising money when I get so I'll donate. I won't raise money, but I'll donate personally.
Yeah, definitely send me the link where you want to donate, so I can put it in my story with the whole podcast and talk a little bit about.
Very true. I didn't think about that.
But yeah, if I can help you with that, I would love to. And regarding Phillip Island, because it's such an amazing track. I mean, you picked the best race on the season.
Oh, it was nuts. Absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah. How was the whole paddock? Because to be honest, I've never seen a paddock from the inside in MotoGP. I'm kind of
well, it was because there wasn't enough garages, so they had Moto3, some of the Moto3 and a few Moto2 teams out the back. So where you're walking, you look to the right and you can see inside all their garages and stuff, and then working on the bikes. And I've even got a photo I can send it to you of like just the raw Moto3 engine. It's just crazy to look at, like what they do to it. And like Joel Kelso was out the back there, and there was quite a few people at the back, but there wasn't heaps. But you just see riders and managers and team bosses and stuff, and it's kind of like, oh, like I see them on TV all the time. Like it was quite a weird. I don't really get starstruck, but it was kind of just like, oh, that's a bit weird. But so yeah, I was speaking to heaps of riders, heaps of team, but like on the Friday night, we were out for dinner, and Hervé Poncharal was sitting right next to us, and like some of the riders, and it's kind of just because Phillip Island's such a small place. There's only so few places to go to. You see, a heap of riders, a heap of team bosses and managers and mechanics and all that. So it was pretty weird and seeing them all. And then when Remy got me the paddock pass on that Saturday afternoon, I was like, oh, I kind of just want to go down, have a look, and just see what's happening. Literally just rider, team boss, walking past everyone and talking to them and having a chat. It was really weird, but super cool experience. Like there was a mechanic I ended up talking to for ages. Talked to this, he was Alex Marquez's marketing manager, I think he was, but like he's really involved in the box and everything. And just talked to him for ages about everything, just in super detail. And like he just went on and on, like absolutely loved his job, you could tell, and just explained to me everything. And it was just such a cool experience. And then I was talking to Sam Lowe's, Joe Roberts and Raul Fernandez, just talking about different things. But yeah, like it was just a real weird, just because you see it on TV all the time, but a real cool experience. So yeah, thank him for that. But most of all, thank you. You put this all together. If it wasn't for you, none of this would have happened. She wouldn't have had this experience. I wouldn't have had this experience to this point. But yeah, like you've made this woman's life. Like she's over the moon. I can't even tell you. I'm still in contact with her, and she can't believe it. She ended up meeting she got a photo with some riders, her absolute favorite. But after Remy, Fabio Quartararo, and she absolutely obsessed with him, and so she was absolutely over the moon. And yeah, can't thank you enough. She's just she's ecstatic, and I'm so thankful for you and for Remy.
Yeah, I mean, it makes me happy that you had a great experience, and it makes me happy that she had a great experience. Like all I basically did was send a screenshot, but if that's what it takes to make someone's life better, this is a moment forever. This is a moment you will remember forever.
Yeah.
And especially in such a difficult situation as she is, because as I said, I had a few family members pass away from cancer. Some of them were like a more peaceful death, and some of them more rough, but everything wasn't peaceful at all on a grand scale, you know. And have to give someone some joy and do with those things which are rather small for me. You know, I took a screenshot. I said, hey, this is what happened. This is his ad. You should see this, I feel like, you know. And it makes such an impact that you get to get in contact with Remy, and Remy being the awesome person that he is, making all this happen, you know, it makes me happy. And this is because I would like to talk to you, because this is something I'm generally interested in, how this whole thing played out. And yeah, if it's if I can make people happy with such a small thing, and of course Remy with such a big thing, like you said, he went over and above. But that's just the type of guy he is, you know. Then
Exactly.
You know, tonight I will sleep better.
Yeah, but like she's super positive with it all. Like she's accepted what's her fate is, and you know, she uses it as her humor. So I don't really know how to take it when she says it, but like she's like, you know, you've made my life. Like this is the best experience ever, and like she's super positive, and yeah, like she's just living her life. She's doing absolutely everything until she's not. She's just doing all these experiences, and she sends me photos and videos of things she's doing, and she's living the life. She's living it up.
That's what you gotta do. I mean, you know all these stories, like what would you do if it was your last day? And
exactly.
You know, I feel like this is what people shows them what they really want. Because you know, if you would tell me, hey, you have one more year to live, I would quit my job. I would spend on doing some crazy things that would make me happy, you know.
100%, yeah.
Yeah, but oftentimes you don't get the perspective, because obviously if I expect to live like for another 70 years, I can't spend all my money now and do just
you got to plan it.
Yeah, you got to plan it, you have to be responsible. But yeah, I'm happy that she didn't get depressed and just accepted her fate. I mean, it is what it is. Change it, but you can make the best out of it. And it makes me so happy that that you put this all together. You should be proud of yourself. I'm happy that Remy did all what he did. And I mean, I just kind of connected the dots with a small message. And if that's what it takes to make someone's life better, I'm more than happy to do it, you know. And it's just a minor part. So the big thanks goes to Remy and to you.
Yeah, it just shows like just the small things can do so much. Like I texted you. I was like, you know, like why what's going to stop me from texting you? Like, what do I lose? Well, nothing. So it's like, well, I'm just going to do it because I can't lose. The worst he says is, oh, I can't do that, or you know, he doesn't reply. So I'm like, well, you know, it's such a small thing, and I can't lose. Like, I might as well. And that's what I did, and then you know, you replied, and then it turned into this huge thing just from this little message that I sent, because I was like, oh, why not stuff it? Turned into this huge thing of, you know, her meeting Remy and Fabio, and sitting on Remy's bike, and you know, and Remy had such a small part of it. Like he did a big thing, but to him it's probably something so small, and like it was a bunch of small things just built up, and it turned into this big thing, and like just a small part on everyone's behalf turned into this huge thing for her. And yeah, it's just shows just small things, and it can add up.
Yeah, I mean, it kind of went exponentially. So the more all the small steps towards the end were so much more, you know. And what kind of a dickhead would I be if I said no, I can't do this? I mean, what the fuck?
Yeah, I would have pressed the unfollow button.
Yeah,
no, I'm just kidding.
it's the least. Yeah, rightfully so. I mean, I mean, it happens sometimes that I don't read messages because they're in my request folder and I don't check it every day.
Yeah.
You know, usually I see what people send me.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's lost a little bit because there are a lot of people in my DMs. But I try to respond to everybody because even if it's not something big like your message, I still try to connect, and I feel like that's only benefited me. I have so
Oh,
many
exactly.
positive experiences from
Yeah.
people, many awesome people through this. For example, Remy, without him, this wouldn't be possible. I met you and, so on. And I really feel like I want to do something positive. I mean, if it's just somebody who texts me things like, "Hey, none of my friends watch MotoGP," and through your page, it's a little bit more interesting,
Yeah.
I mean, I feel that because none of my friends watch it, so
Oh, I'm the same.
kind of well, and yeah, but back to the original one. I mean, all those small steps, you never know how much of an impact you could make with something so small,
Yeah.
and yeah, for Remy, I guess it's not that as small as you think. I think it's still a lot of management involved to get someone paddock
Oh,
pass, but
100%. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
if he has the capability of doing that for you, it shows more to his character that he's doing it and not saying
Yeah.
that. That's what's really amazing to me. That basically the picture of him how I got to know him. That's exactly how he behaves towards you.
Yeah. Yeah. He was super good, and as I said before, like just super nice and genuine. Like just just in case, like yeah, I'll do that for you. Yeah, I'll do this for you. It's like, well, okay. No, I didn't even ask you. Like you just did it. But and back to what you said, like I have no friends, but besides my dad, like I have no friends that watch MotoGP, and that's how I came across your page. I was like, oh, this is really funny, and now we're just like we're on a podcast, we're friends and talking, and probably will I'll see you over in Europe. I told you that, and but yeah, just small things, and not even small things like in MotoGP, but even saying hello to that random person, could be your next best friend. That's what I mean, like just small things like that. Doesn't even have to be towards anything. Just making friends and whatnot. But yeah,
I mean, you never know what kind of burden people are carrying with themselves because everybody has some shit to deal with, and some
exactly.
some are a little bit more obvious. Like you texted me exactly what the deal was, so I knew. But even when you don't know, I mean, it doesn't hurt you to be nice, and you don't have to do too much where to a point where you kind of where you I don't know how you say it in English when you do too much to the other person and neglect yourself. I
Yeah.
mean, just those small things are so important. And do you know the story of Remy's broken hand in the winter test?
I know he had a broken hand and everything, but not in great detail.
Okay, so we recorded the podcast. For example, another thing that makes me like Remy so much because I asked him, "Hey, I have this idea about a podcast. I would like to do it with you." And he was like, "Yeah, sure. Come to Spain in the winter. We will do it." And we texted a little bit about it. And then I ended up going to Barcelona, and we were recording here. He invited me to the workshop, showed me everything there, and he didn't have to do it, but
Hmm.
he did, and he is. Very selfless. Do you say it like this in English?
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
He's very selfless, and that's what I like. But yeah, we record the podcast. The next day, we were invited by Remy to go to Rockers Ranch, the
Mm-hmm.
motocross track. I don't know if you heard about
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, running there with his motocross bike, and yeah, talking with us, showing us things where you can watch and all of this. So he was really caring, even though it was his training.
Yeah.
So that's kind of shows the kind of person he is. But then he had I didn't see it, but I've heard from him that he had this jump, and when he came down on the handlebar, his wrist broke.
Hmm.
He was coming back to the van, and you knew something was off because usually he comes with the bike and everything's fine, and he was just talking to us. But this situation, a lot of people were coming with him, so me and my girlfriend was like, okay, let's not disturb him. Something's going on here. We don't know what.
Yeah.
You know? And then after things calmed down a little bit, he was like, yeah, I broke my hand. I'm so sorry. I ruined your day here. Yada, yada, yada. And I'm like, bro, don't worry about me. Worry about yourself, you know? And
Yeah.
I was asking him like, hey, can I do something for you? Whatever. He was like, no, my girlfriend will pick up the dog because Bella was with him in the van and he was going to the hospital. He was apologizing all the time, you know?
Mm.
And it kind of was weird because I felt so sorry for him because I knew the MotoGP test was like 2 or 3 weeks away.
I was about to say he's apologizing and he's about to go ride a MotoGP bike with a broken hand.
Yeah. And yeah, first of all, I'm not like, hey, you don't need to apologize to me, but he did. So yeah,
Exactly.
he's such a lovely guy. And this is like the reason because I know him, yes, but he's super friendly. He's more friendly to me than most of my friends, you know. and
Yeah.
And when you hear him talk about KTM this whole season, I mean, it felt like he was a little bit a little bit kind of getting depressed by this whole situation and being so sad in Austria with the whole media. I think you could see it, and it hurts me to see because he deserves so much more. And yeah, it's a rough business. I feel very, very sorry for him.
Yeah, and like just speaking about that, like because Dad and Wayne, his dad, my dad and his dad were friends, and then when they were Luca and his brother and Remy were born and raised in Spain, and they just worked tirelessly from when they were super young, riding and racing and stuff and doing super well, and then eventually in Moto3, and like it's not easy for them, like you could tell, and then Moto2, he struggled for I think a year or two, and then eventually did well. But like it's such a long road to get there, and then after 1 year, you get put on a bad bike,
Yeah.
and you're out after all that time to finally get there, and it's like no. It's
Yeah.
like we obviously don't know what's going on behind the scenes, but you can kind of tell like what the person that Remy is, and you can see that like the results of the bike. You can get a gist of what's happening, and it's not fair at all, but it's the way it is, and hopefully he crushes World Superbikes.
Yeah, I hope so. I really hope so because he deserves so much more. And talking with him about his whole journey from Australia to Spain, you could hear that it was difficult for him, and there were a lot of occasions where he's like, "Okay, I'm giving up," and all this. But at the end, he never lost his focus. So yeah, that's basically all we discussed in the podcast in the winter, and I'm hoping that we can do another one in this winter. So maybe get a little bit behind the scenes info from the whole KTM shit. But yeah, I would really, really love to go to Phillip Island one day, but it's such
You
a
have to come.
way, you know? You
Yeah,
have to fly.
it's a like coming to America. It was a 14-hour flight,
Yeah,
and
I believe
it's
Europe.
just it's
I believe it's
sorry.
like I believe from Europe to Australia is at least like 24 hours.
Yeah, it's so far from anything. Like it's ridiculous. Like yeah, our flight today home is 20 hours or something, just because of stopovers and stuff, and it's just so far from anything. So it's pretty rare.
Where are you in the US right now?
I'm in the US right now. We're flying home today, but yeah, normally in Australia.
Where are you?
Where am I?
Yeah.
Austin, Texas. So I'm like 40 minutes away from Coda.
Oh, nice. And what are you doing there?
My brother owns a business over here. Oh, wrong side. Um, he owns like NFTs and stuff. Does like an NFT business, and he had a big like I don't know what you call it. just forgotten the name, but a big thing over here with all these business partners and stuff. And we came over, and so yeah, we've been over here and traveled around with him, and now we're at home with him in his house, and going home today.
That's nice. So I wish him good luck with the business.
Sorry.
I wish him good luck with the business.
Yeah, thank you. I'll have to put you on, make you a millionaire.
Yeah, I mean,
so you don't have to work.
Right now, it could be a great opportunity to invest in NFTs because the whole crypto is all so down there. So
yeah, so yeah, he's doing really well. So very proud of him, very happy.
Yeah, that's nice. So back to Australia, I would love to come there. What do you feel like is the track like? Is it a good experience? Is it what would you recommend to someone who never been there?
It's such a gnarly track. Like you see it on TV and it looks, insane. It looks crazy. But you get there and it's like everything's bigger and faster and more insane. Like you look in that straight and you can't see it on TV but you hear the riders say all you can see is the ocean. And then you you on TV and you can't really see it, but you get there and it's like, whoa, like you can't see that first corner until you're like there. And they're going, 350, 350. I think the top was 355 kilometers an hour. I think they got to. But it's just so quick. And it got me so excited to start riding again. Even with my ribs, I was like, we're coming here next year. We're going to ride here next year. So we're going to make a trip of it next year, and we're going to go down to Phillip Island and ride. So yeah, very, very lucky to be close and be able to ride it because it's my favorite track in the whole world, and it's insane. And we've got tracks, in Sydney that are just as good.
Yeah. I mean, the track definitely produced some great racing.
Oh yeah.
Where would you recommend to sit?
It's a hard one because you've got where Siberia is. I'm not sure what turn number it is. I think it's turn 5. I think it is. And it's such a good area. You can see, almost the whole track, but it gets the most weather. So it's all it's pretty windy. If it's raining, you get hammered with rain. So it's pretty much wherever the good seats are, you have the most risk of, getting hit by the weather. Wherever the bad seats are, you're going to be in for be warm. So yeah, just because the weather it is like it is on TV. It's 4 seasons in one day. So on Friday, I think it was freezing cold, and then it was super hot, and then it started raining, like belting down, and then it was super windy, and it's crazy. So you have to really be prepared with everything you got. You need winter jackets, and then you need your shorts, and you need your beanie, and then your hat, and yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, I've been to the Formula One race in Spa last year. Shit show with the safety car, so I know about bad weather.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I would rather sit somewhere and freeze or get wet or whatever, have a great race to see from a great grandstand. Then
Siberia or turn 1 is probably the best.
Yeah,
I would say.
I mean, in Australia, we sat on the grandstands last year because, like the start-finish straight, because we got tickets from the company I worked for. They were sponsoring the events, and I got some tickets. It was pretty nice, so I didn't complain. But yeah, we bought the tickets ourselves, and we bought it at the new chicane, and it was amazing. I mean, you could see so much. The same with Valencia. Valencia is such a great track for all the fans.
It's like a big stadium.
Yeah, basically. We sat at turn 6, and you could see the whole track except like the last corner and the start-finish straight, which is as far as you can watch, And I have a like 55-second video of the MotoGP start where I just filmed the bikes going around the track, and you cannot see the start obviously, but coming up first corner and going into the last corner, you could see everything.
Yeah, that's crazy. But like in Phillip Island, no matter where you sit, it's gonna be pretty insane. Pretty much every circuit's like that. but yeah, like Valencia would be, it's just a big stadium, so you can see absolutely everything. It's crazy. But where we were sitting at Phillip Island, they didn't have a big screen, or they didn't have commentary, or they had a big screen, but it was pretty hard to see, and they had no sound, like no commentary or anything. So it was pretty hard. You just see like the bikes fly by, and you're like, oh, who was that? and then so I had binoculars, and I was reading the big screen, and I was pretty much the relay of information for everyone standing there. So it was still crazy, but yeah, I wish they had some commentary just to know what was going on at least. But yeah, that was my one complaint for what a crazy race it was.
Yeah, I feel like qualifying and free practice is super pointless to watch live.
Mhm.
When you don't have the exact timing, I don't know what to watch. They're just,
Exactly.
especially when you've been to a Grand Prix or two, you get used to the bike, so it's not as spectacular anymore.
Yeah, exactly.
So, but I really enjoy those Fridays to get to know the tracks, get to know the area, But
Yeah, just walk around and see everything.
yeah, in Austria, for example, we watched the whole qualifying on our phones at the campsite, and then went to the track for the Moto E and the Rookies Cup race.
Yeah.
On Saturday, and then obviously on Sunday we had the whole experience. Missed the Moto 3 race because of Remy, but it was kind of worth it.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So before I let you go, what are your predictions for Valencia?
I don't know. Like I was just watching the qualifying this morning, and because it's the morning over here, and there's 6 Ducatis in the top 10, so it's looking super difficult. But I would say I reckon Jack Miller's going to win. Bit of bias. Um, I'm not sure. Second Bastianini maybe, and third Bagnaia. I have no idea, honestly. It's all up in the air at the moment because it's only free practice too. But I don't think Fabio is going to do it. As much as I want him to, I don't think he's going to.
I mean, it would be such an incredible story, but I just don't see it. But the comeback in itself is so great by Pecco Bagnaia that he absolutely deserves it.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Yeah, and Moto 2, what do you think?
Moto 2, again, I want Agura to win, but I think Fernandez has got it. And as for results, I hope Augusto and I have a good battle. So, but I can't really predict at the moment. But I hope that happens. That'll be such a good race.
Yeah, but it would be really pointless for Augusto to battle Ayogura.
Yeah,
Because,
actually, I do have one prediction. Pedro Costa P1.
yeah,
100%. He's doing good in practice, and I think he's going to do it.
yeah, I signed that right now because I didn't watch the free practice. I just saw the timetable, and he was really, really good in both sessions.
Yeah, he was top of the session all the whole time.
But I don't necessarily see Ayogura having a good race either because he never been there on a Moto 2 bike. Yeah, it's difficult now.
I hope he does, but I can't really see it either. That's why I'm saying Fernandez is going to win, but we'll see what happens. It can all change on Sunday.
Yeah, of course. But Ayogura fucked up big time in Sepang, and that's like what he deserves because yeah, I mean it's cruel, but when you make a mistake like you probably don't deserve a world championship,
He pushed when he didn't need to, exactly.
So yeah, difficult situation for him. But thank you very much for your time. We wrapped up right around an hour, I guess a little bit less. And it was really, really heartwarming to hear the story. Makes me so happy that it all came to fruition and it was such a great experience. And yeah, it proves
Thank you. Just wanted to say thank you.
You're welcome, but it proves once
again. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, it proves once again what kind of an awesome person Remy is and that he deserves so much better. He deserves all the championships in the world. Thanks for being on. We somehow made it possible with all the time difference.
Oh, it was a struggle. I thought if it doesn't happen today, I thought it's gonna take some time, but we got it done. So All good. And I'll keep chatting to you. We'll keep talking for sure. And I'll see you over in Europe.
Yeah. Goodbye.
All right. See ya.